$20 billion bet, 18% adoption. Your $140K job is the math problem Microsoft has to solve by Q2 2025. Microsoft invested $20 billion into OpenAI. The hype was real. Copilot was supposed to transform enterprise productivity overnight, but internal documents show adoption stalled at just 18% of enterprises. That's not a rollout. That's a failure signal. And here's what matters. When AI adoption doesn't pay off, companies don't slow down the AI spend. They justify it another way, by cutting the people who do the work AI was supposed to replace. For a tech worker earning $140K annually, this isn't hypothetical. It's a 50-70% probability event over the next 36 months. We're talking $180K, $280K in potential income loss if your employer uses the Copilot adoption gap as cover for workforce optimization. But before we get into the layoff mechanics, you need to understand the financial pressure driving this. Asterisk, the $20 billion problem, asterisk. Let's break what's actually happening. Microsoft's 10Q filing for Q1 2025 doesn't explicitly state that Copilot adoption missed targets, but the silence is the signal. When a $20 billion bet needs justification, Microsoft has two options: prove Copilot's ROI or prove efficiency gains to shareholder. Gartner's latest enterprise AI adoption data shows that only 18% of Fortune 500 companies have deployed Copilot at scale. Compare that to Microsoft's internal projections, leaked through analyst calls and enterprise surveys, which targeted 60% plus adoption by end of 2024. That's a $20 billion shortfall in expected revenue and productivity claim. Let me pause here because this next part is where your income becomes the variable. A $20 billion gap isn't something Microsoft absorbs quietly. It's something they explain away. Asterisk, the adoption failure to layoff pipeline, asterisk. Here's where your job enters the equation. Enterprises that invested in Copilot licenses but didn't see ROI now face board pressure. The CFO can't say AI failed. That tanks stock price and justifies why they dumped $4M, $12M annually on licenses that didn't work. Instead, they say, we're optimizing headcount to show AI productivity gains. Translation: layoffs. The 2024 BLS Occupational Employment Statistics data shows software developers earned a median of $120K, $165K annually. If your company cuts 20% of mid-tier dev roles and attributes it to AI efficiency, that's 4,000,6,000 roles at risk across Fortune 500 alone. But here's the counterintuitive part, and this is the rehook you need to stay locked in. The adoption failure doesn't slow the layoffs, it accelerates them. Why? Because Microsoft and its enterprise customers need to show something change. If Copilot adoption is stuck at 18%, the only lever left is workforce reduction. Cut the junior and mid-tier roles that Copilot was supposed to replace. Suddenly, the company can report maintained output with 15% fewer headcount, AI productivity gains realized. It's not true, but it's credible to a board. Asterisk, the Q2 2025 timeline, asterisk. Timeline matters more than anything else. Q2 2025 earnings calls, April through June next year, are when Microsoft and its enterprise customers will need to justify AI spending to shareholders. That's when guidance shifts. That's when workforce optimization budgets get approved. If you're a tech worker, that 90-day window is your last signal before the wave hits. We're not talking about 2026 or 2027, talking about Q2. That's 16-20 weeks away. Here's what happens in that window. Your employer's CFO compares the Copilot license cost, $20, $30 per seat monthly, or $240, $360 per employee annually, against actual productivity gains. They find none, so they justify the spend by cutting 10-15% of roles. A team of 10 becomes a team of 8-9. Same output, lower cost. Problem solved for the board. Problem created for you. Asterisk, what you actually do about this, asterisk. First, build a secondary income stream now. Freelance, contract work, or a complementary skill that your employer can't easily automate. Even $2,000, $4,000 monthly from side work creates a 6-9 month buffer if layoffs hit. Second, document your work in areas where AI adoption is still low: enterprise architecture, legacy system optimization, cross-team coordination, security compliance. These roles are 12-24 months behind the automation curve. Third, consider a sideways move into AI-adjacent roles: AI prompt engineering, data annotation oversight, AI governance, or enterprise AI implementation. You're moving asterisk into asterisk the replacement wave, not staying in front of it. The $20 billion OpenAI bet was real, but the 18% adoption gap is realer, and your paycheck is the variable Microsoft, and your employer will adjust to make the math work by Q2 2025. If this exposed a risk you hadn't quantified, subscribe. I'm dropping the breakdown on enterprise layoff signals in Q1 2025, the 3 metrics to watch in your company's earnings calls before the headcount announcements hit. Ring the bell. What's your biggest fear? AI adoption or layoff cover? Drop it in the comments. In AI, the early reader wins.